Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal are very close to signing Eberechi EZE from Crystal Palace in a 45 million deal plus performance-based bonuses. That's according to Court Offside, who are saying that at the moment an initial fee of 45 million is being discussed between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Arsenal always wanted to sign the player below the Crystal Palace release clause, and that deal is happening. We are also going to be talking about Rodrigo. We're also going to be talking about Gabriel Martinelli, Fabio Vieira, and a couple of other updates on the channel around Arsenal right at this time. And Arsenal have about 60 million to spend on both Madueke and EZE. But if we had to sign one, which one would you go for? Would you go for EZE or would you go for Madueke? Obviously, Madueke gives you that right-wing option to Saka that we have craved for many years. And also an option on the left. He's not that good on the left, but he would give you an option. With Eberechi EZE, you get a number 8 that can be a quality option to Declan Rice in case he gets injured, in case you want to rotate him. A quality option to Martinelli, not to Martinelli really, but to Martin Odegaard. And of course, a quality option to Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side if you decided to play him there. So what are your thoughts? David Onstein saying that Arsenal's budget might not accommodate both Madueke and EZE, and especially with Ethan Nwaneri also trying to complain for minutes, they might actually choose to go for one, not both. So if we're going for one, do you go for EZE or do you go for Madueke? Let me know in the comment box below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. So this is according to Cossy, and they're saying that it's a breaking story, by the way. They understand that Arsenal and Crystal Palace are close to an agreement over the initial fee of 45 million plus performance-related bonuses for Eberechi. As the other clubs also approached, but player only wants Arsenal and they don't stand a chance. That is where we are in terms of Eberechi EZE. You know, these deals, all of them are growing slowly but surely in the background. They're deals that are growing but slowly but surely in the background, right? There's a lot of plumbing going on behind the scenes, and that's why you've had the Christian Noga deal. Like, the medicals were done and announced without us even getting an update, without us getting an update of his arrival and everything, right? So there's a lot of work being done. Sometimes some progress is going to be skipped, and then we shall just hear that a deal is closed or a deal is done. But for me, I mean, David Onstein has said that Arsenal might actually have to decide between Eberechi EZE and Noni Madueke. Now, talks are ongoing between the two clubs, Palace and Chelsea. And I think what Arsenal are trying to do here, once again, we're trying to leverage two players that we want, and we consider that, you know, we consider of high value. They can also do the same thing. We're trying to leverage them against each other. What Arsenal are trying to do here is simple. They will try to tell Chelsea, if you're going to give us Madueke for 50 million euros, well, we could go and sign EZE for something like 45 million pounds initially. So you've got to come down with your pricing. And Fabrizio has told us that there is a valuation between Arsenal and Chelsea for Noni Madueke. When you look at the Eberechi EZE deal, and it's being reported by big sources, it's being reported by confirmed sources, it's a deal that seemingly is soft and smooth and easy, right? And of course, he can offer more. He can offer you that number 10 option, that number 11 option, that number 7 option, if you use them well, and that number 8 option as well. But Arsenal just trying to see, do we get EZE for a cheaper price, or do we get Madueke for a cheaper price? I won't be surprised at any point in time for the Eberechi EZE deal to happen and Madueke just goes silent and just goes out of the window. I don't think Arsenal look at Noni Madueke as a market opportunity. They look at Noni Madueke as the best value they can get for a backup to Saka, because most players don't want to be a backup to Saka, Salah, Messi. You don't want to be a backup to those guys because they never get injured. Well, Saka got injured last season, but you know what I mean. And they're always available. They're always in form. And they're the heartbeat and the spine and the backbone of the team. And what that means is whatever happens, they're always on the pitch, right? We always fight with Mikel Arteta and try to quarrel. But at times you don't blame the guy. Saka is good to the extent that if a game is 2-0 against Arsenal, Saka has got the magic and the ability to actually turn that result around. And that's why he plays almost all the minutes. So for me, if you asked me, and I ask you as well, would you go for EZE or Madueke if we had to sign one? I would go with EZE. More talent, more creativity. I think he has more use cases for Arsenal than Madueke. I want to say this, right? If Arsenal had a departure on the left wing, I don't think EZE upgrades the left wing, and I don't think Madueke upgrades the left wing. If we have a departure, then you've got to start thinking Rafael, you've got to start thinking Rodrigo. But before Arsenal make a departure, before Arsenal get a departure on the left, I think EZE is the perfect guy over Madueke. One, in terms of the pricing, maybe EZE could be a little bit expensive because 45 million and maybe 15 in add-ons. That is what could happen. And maybe Madueke would cost a little bit less than that. Maybe he would cost like 40 million and maybe 10 or 5 in add-ons. That's okay. But which signing is much better for a club like Arsenal at the level that we want to perform, at the level that we are going to be challenging at next season? Is it Madueke? Is it EZE? In my opinion, it's not Madueke. It is EZE. 27, Premier League proven, has taken Crystal Palace to the Europa League, has won silverware in recent years, obviously with Crystal Palace. Individual brilliance, tick. Team player, tick. Creativity, tick. Goals, tick. Easy deal, tick. Wants to play for Arsenal 100%, tick. Has rejected all other clubs, tick. Like, EZE just makes a lot of sense. It just ticks like all the boxes. The only box that it doesn't tick is, does it start for Arsenal right away? Well, I'm one of the people that think that he's a very, very talented guy, but to break into this Arsenal team, you've got to do some, you've got to put in some power moves in the background in training to tell the manager, you love Odegaard, but I am better. Like, I think he can do that. I think EZE is got the ability to do that. He's such a very, very talented player. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's either EZE and Madueke or EZE only, right? And of course, EZE and Madueke would cost us about 90 million. I still don't understand this Mikel Arteta and Andre Bata infatuation with Madueke. He would cost a lot of money. That's number one. It would cost a lot of money, like 40. And I think that if you went and got a player like, let's say Noah Lang, right? Noah Lang signed for Napoli for 23 million plus add-ons. That's a fantastic, that's a perfect deal. Like, if you got Noah Lang, you added Noah Lang to this Arsenal team, he doesn't raise the levels through the roof, but in terms of backups and options, like, you take off Saka and you're introducing Noah Lang, bro, we would be cooking. And then you have Endonza Grover at Lille Metropole. We've talked about Malik at Lyon. I would even bet that if Arsenal really think Madueke is a great left option, I would go for Karu Mitoma. Because we were told that Karu Mitoma would be available for around 40 million. I would go for Karu Mitoma on the left. Because Karu Mitoma is such a perfectly assembled weapon for a wide attacker. I would definitely go for Karu Mitoma over Noni Madueke. But anyway, the EZE deal is progressing. Arsenal very, very sure they're going to get that one done out of the way. Now, we've got an update from Fabrizio on Rodrigo. And Fabrizio says that reports on Rodrigo and Al Nassr are quite wide of the mark, same as Gabriel Martinelli. Al Nassr are working on different targets and different budgets, not crazy expenses. Rodrigo's focus is only European football. And Fabrizio said the same thing with Gabriel Martinelli, and he says that Gabriel Martinelli is not joining Al Nassr despite recent speculation. There have been no talks between Al Nassr and Martinelli. The club is currently pursuing other targets and has not opened discussions with Arsenal. Martinelli remains fully committed to the Arsenal project, despite interest and admiration from several clubs. No advanced negotiations with Al Nassr or any other team at the moment. Okay. The left wing situation at Arsenal is like popping popcorn, right? You don't know what is gonna pop first, and you don't want to know what's gonna pop last, and you don't know what's not going to pop, right? Like they randomly pop, and in the end, you look at all this, big white shape, and you're like, everything has popped, right? And then as you start, collecting them, you realize there are coins that have not actually popped. And I think that is what I would say with the left-wing situation at Arsenal. I think Al Nassr are more interested in Luis Diaz than they are in Rodrigo and Gabriel Martinelli. But Al Nassr have got the budget of 50 million plus. And Arsenal have said every time and again, they would be willing to listen to offers that are right for Gabriel Martinelli. Now, listen to me. I don't know what Arsenal consider right. Some people are saying 50 million, others saying 60 million, others saying 70 million. But if Liverpool are selling Joro Quanch for 30 plus million, if Liverpool are selling Darwin Núñez for like 50 plus million, I think Arsenal need to learn to sell. And it's one of the things I talked about last summer. We've got to learn how to sell. We are one of the worst teams when it comes to player sales, when it comes to selling. We're one of the rubbish teams in the market. I think Gabriel Martinelli is like 60 million and above, 60 million pounds and above. I think Al Nassr would be willing to spend that. And there is no journalist, as far as I've seen, there is no journalist that has committed himself to saying Martinelli will not go. And there is no journalist that has said Arsenal will not sell. And there is no journalist that has said Martinelli is not willing to listen, right? All of them are saying nothing is going on at the moment. But if the situation changes, which it could, then Rodrigo becomes a big possibility. And so does Ademola Lookman. And so does Anthony Gordon. For me, that simply means, and I want to say this as clearly and vividly as possible, that simply means that Arsenal are 100% willing to sell Martinelli, and Martinelli, if the right offer comes in, is willing to move and find a new challenge, especially now that Arsenal have shown him we are willing to upgrade. I tell you, this is one thing Arsenal need to learn. When a player still has value, and you know that you want to upgrade on them, do it. Because next season, Arsenal will have to bear with 40 million bids, 30 million bids for Gabriel Martinelli. Honestly. If he has another bad season, if he has another mediocre average season, he's going to go for 40 million. He's going to go for 35 million. Last summer, Zinchenko had to go. Last summer, Gabriel Jesus had to go. Last summer, Tomiyasu had to go. There were injury-prone players, but and Kieran, there were injury-prone players whose value could have been, maximally used to get good money out of themselves, and then you improve the squad. We didn't do it, and now we're like, oh God, we made a mistake. Zinchenko is now going for like 15 million. There's a mistake. Like, we sold Ramsdale last summer. He should have gone the summer before that. We need to start selling players that we know we are not going to use while they still have value. Liverpool do this very well. You look at Fabio Carvalho. Like, that guy, Fabio Carvalho, massive talent, great talent, but they knew they were not going to use him, right? They sold him while the value was still there. I think Arsenal need to learn to do that. And for me, this is the summer where you let go of Martinelli, and possibly, this is the summer where you let go of Kai Havertz, right? Because with Kai, if he plays less minutes next season, he's going to score even less goals. And if he scores even less goals with less minutes, you're getting a player we paid 75 and or more. You might have to settle for like 40 million or even less than that. Honestly, I'm telling you, clubs are gonna bully us on that Kai Havertz deal. You first had it here. Wait and see. But in terms of the left wing situation, this one is gonna drag on. These ones are gonna drag on. We are waiting to see what actually comes out of there. Fabio Vieira is likely to report to Arsenal preseason, but the Gunners would be willing to listen to offers for the midfielder this summer. That's Fabio Vieira and also Leandro Trossard. This report says that work has begun for the transfer of Leandro Trossard in Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce, which made plans for star transfers with approval of Jose Mourinho. Negotiations for Trasad are going what? Okay, they've started negotiations for Trasad. Fenerbahce made contact with Trasad, who entered the last year of his contract at Arsenal. Trossard and Vieira. I think with Fabio Vieira, I've talked about letting players go when the value is there. If Arsenal are sure they're bringing in a number 9 in EZE, let him go. It's okay. Let him go. But if you're not signing a number 10, if you're not signing a creative midfielder, do not dare make that mistake. Don't dare. It's as simple as that. For me, clear as day, black and white, don't sell if you're not willing to replace. Don't keep if you're bringing EZE. With Trasad, could this be the agent trying to, get a better deal out of Arsenal? Because, but also, why has Trasad not signed a deal when we were told it was very close? Two things can be true. Maybe he wants to stay, but also maybe Fenerbahce are giving him a better deal. So, Arsenal have to keep alert on these ones. Otherwise, we might have a shocker closer to the end of the window. Imagine Trasad leaves 1st August. Trasad leaves and we have spent all the money. I don't want to think about it.